Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris. This is Starters Order 7, and we're back on our jump sieve. Little mini heat wave in the UK and in Europe especially. My gosh, it's like Texas temperatures there. I don't miss those for sure. But yeah, living without air conditioning, really rough. Wouldn't recommend it. Um, not really that you can help it in the UK. So it is what it is. I am suffering a bit. I am ill. I am not coping well, but can't let that mean that we skip videos or we miss days of uploading. So I am back with this Piazza Bar still out for 2 weeks. Yeah, I think I booked him out long enough if I remember. That's okay. Um, Everybody has a race, so yeah, I think I just go race. I don't think there's too much to talk about that we haven't kind of gone over in the last couple of videos on the jump side. It's been a few days since I've played this, so I'm trying to kind of get back in the right place sort of mentally and understand where we were and what the plan was. I think basically it was 4 and 5 year olds have to prove their right to race. The 6 year olds look okay, but a lot of horses could end up in the breeding barn and just have Wala and Tartan Jura with a very good bunch of 3 year olds. That might be where we end up. So if it is, it is, and we will set up so 2 mile, 2 furlong Hunter Chase Class 4 race for Hannah towards the back and coming near side. Jumps the first okay. Queen's Lodge Silver Linnet out the front with Amthal and Tidy France there as well up on the inside. Back to Notepad and Bridget the Fidget. Fear and Greed. Jajen DB. I okay. Nelly Pickersgill, an Elegant Star. And, well, Nelly just packed her trunk and said goodbye to the racecourse. Unseated at the fourth. And that is the halfway marker. For Hannah now coming up into decent position. 2 more jumps. Doesn't do too badly there. Ahead of Bridget the Fidget. A long way back on the leaders. But we still got 3/4 of a mile left to run. Only 1 more jump to go after that. So pretty good. Coming up now, fairly strong. Jigandibe in the mix. Final 2 furlongs. It's basically come down to the two of us. Here comes Queen's Lodge a little bit. The jump is cleared. Fahana powering past Jigandibe. Queen's Lodge in third. I don't think they're going to actually come up and challenge us at all. They're going to take a little run at Jigandibe, but not get close enough. And about 2 lengths the distance between first and second, second and third. 2.8, 5.2 in total. Solid run. Just, I mean, that's all it is. It's a solid run. It's not a great race. We are gaining a tiny bit of rating, so it's worthwhile races. I just, yeah, I don't know about that potential bar. I think we just run the 5 year olds and 6 year olds this season and the 4 year olds, and we just take a look at them next year and try and figure out what kind of jumps have happened, how they kind of look to be developing, how quickly they are developing, extrapolate that out and predict over the next 2 or 3 years. And then we can kind of see where we think they might be as a like an 8 year old when they're in their prime. So I know some of these races are going to be way, way more kind of difficult than probably suits the horses. I'm trying to figure out the best way of saying that, but really just to suit the horses. It's on this screen. No, it's not on this. Is it on this screen? Yes. Okay, we'll just keep them there. Okay. Got no idea why I'm breathing to that horse, and then just again, there aren't any options. One thing I will say is I very, very briefly managed to get a new schedule up and running. And the way I did it was basically I went in, I copied the default schedule, I took out every single race in New Zealand, Japan, Australia, and France. Killed them all. Then I went through all the Irish races and took out all the non-graded races, and anything that wasn't added that was a graded race from the UK or Ireland, I added into the schedule. And I tried to space them out a little bit more, even though they weren't on the right dates. And the meetings wouldn't make sense. They weren't like entirely realistic. Just to make sure there's no like dead points in the schedules. And so we had a bunch of grade ones, grade twos, grade threes at all kind of levels, plus all the normal British races anyway. And I simulated that for like 5 to 10 years, and everything was pretty good. That's where some of these horses have come from. It's just basically, 3 different saves that I did testing at 3 different levels of building that schedule. And yeah, what we end up with is, I think, something that works but isn't quite right and needs refining. But the problem was, once I'd started a save game with those schedules, I could never find those schedules again. Just when I'm creating a new game, just would not appear in the list, no matter what I did, what I selected, just basically were void. They still existed. I could go in and look at them and edit them manually. I couldn't edit them through the course editor, or the schedule editor, sorry. So I don't know what's happening there. I don't know why they would work and everything would look good, and then basically them just not like show up again. And that would mean that I had to go back in and do more work on it, and just, yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie, some of these seem intriguing to me. And I haven't got any kind of metrics I'm going to look for on these horses. But yeah, one of the things I liked about the new schedule is it did kind of bring back a lot of those same metrics because we had more grade 1 winners. So I went into the breeding barn, looked at the game bred sires, and there were like 4 to 5 horses that had multiple grade 1 wins. And I know that's going to be a lower number than the 14s, 15s we're seeing elsewhere, but it's just like, okay, these are the peak horses. These are the ones that actually won the big races. So, yeah. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. So, I think I'm going to try and do the same again. I'm going to replicate, because sadly, even though I did it in stages and named them different things, I had like 6 different schedules for different stages of editing the schedule. When I had the final one and when it worked, I went and deleted all of the precursors and just left that one finished schedule, because I thought, oh, I've kind of done it here, and this is my new base to work from to edit for the future. And so I don't even have those to work from. So I have to start from scratch and do them. But at least now I know a little bit more about it, how to do it. and how to avoid the bugs. Like if you're deleting races from a schedule, it sometimes deletes extra races. If you put in races in, it overwrites races, and that can cause crashes. And there's all kinds of weird irregularities, sorry, to like contend with. It's such a nightmare. So what I think I'm gonna do, I think a tutorial save. I'm gonna basically do a video for the tutorial tips and tricks playlist of schedule editing, unedited, showing exactly what I do and the folder where it goes, where to find it, how to activate it to start a new game, and then I'll try and create another game or try and go back and edit that schedule, probably both. And the high likelihood for me, I think, is that it's just not going to be there like this one disappeared, even though it would still be in the folder. So I can kind of show you what I'm seeing. If anyone's got any kind of fixes for that, that would be great. But I think that kind of gives us like the rest of this season, and we've only just started the season, so this whole season, maybe one more. Get all our breeding done. Everybody I can't export, just make sure they're fully bred, and I've got everything out to them I can. Everyone I can breed, throw onto this, and then I would probably simulate 5 to 10 seasons starting the new game when that schedule actually works. And also I would spend probably 3 seasons at that point, because I feel we'd probably be in that range. That'd be 48 horses, 3 years to import them all. But I can import them all, kind of get them into a good place. Make sure I import the 1 and 2 year olds first, then the 3 and 4 year olds in season 2, and then the older horses in season 3, and just give us so much to work from a breeding point of view, from a racing point of view. I think that will set us up and have a schedule that maybe doesn't make sense realistically, in that different races be run on days when they're not actually there, and race meetings will just have weird ones. Like there were some meetings in February that I had extra races for that didn't run in February, and February was pretty booked, so I added them onto the race meetings at the same race course in January or March. So there's a little bit like that, and I think May, June, July were all dead. Um, they were all pretty dead, and I think either September or October was a little sparse. So yeah, little update on that, but a fresh schedule that makes more sense than this one. And like I say, the fact that like none of these would be on the schedule, because why would I run flat races or maidens in Ireland when I can run them domestically? And the handicaps, I get kind of where it's there to bulk out the schedule. It's more realistic. I'm never running these. I'm never running these handicaps in New Zealand. I'm never running in France. So I can add back like the graded races from all these countries, but all of these filler races, I don't need them. I don't want them. And so the new schedule would kind of take care of some of that for us. So yeah, let me know what you think about that in the comment section, but that's just how it feels. So Ladbrokes Park, trip down under, little grade 2. We could add this back in. We could add a bunch of graded races from around the world. So that would be okay. Okay, well, yeah, little grade 2. Don't know how to feel about it. Well, that's how we feel about it, I guess. I guess that's how we feel about it. Yeah. Bahana wins by 2 lengths. And then Waller gets an injury. Of course they do. Of course they do. Yeah, I'm gonna undo that because we didn't have an injury and the game's kind of being a little random now, so Hannah wins by a head. Yeah. So it's not amazing. It's not amazing. We'll get our breathing in. And I guess we can't watch Ladbrokes Park. Yep. I guess we can't watch Ladbrokes Park, which I know I've watched before. Um, hmm. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Yeah, this is why we want to do a little bit of a clean out of the schedule and get things going in a little bit of a different way. So, came dead last. And, yeah, just no great feedback. So, um, ha. And I know we're pushing, I know we're reaching, but like, still, that was like a grade 2. The trip to Australia is the only real difference between that and the Merlin Chase. Maybe the Australian horses are a lot better than the British horses because of the weak schedule we've got. And again, the new schedule would be something that I could use to kind of mitigate that. So, yeah, weird one, but sure. The novice chase in Ireland. I mean, to keep the schedule kind of filled out, I think we can keep all the normal Irish races as well. So we'll just have a UK and Irish schedule with only graded races from um, France and Australia and Japan. I think that might make more sense for me. But let me know what you think about that idea anyway, about that kind of schedule. But yeah, be warned that some dates will be moved around, so like races will be not where you'd expect them the on the actual schedule. So not a lot going on here. Early in the race, Swish Dish is leading us out. We're towards the rear, we're jumping okay. We still got like a mile and 3/4 to go. Mile and a half. Kind of halfway done with the jumps though. The fact we haven't had anybody falling here is pretty good. We're just about keeping ourselves on camera. I've had to zoom out now a little bit. But if I zoom back in the same amount, then we're absolutely fine. That was a poor jump there at 10. And we were just starting to make our way up, and that really did set us back. Good jump at 12 maybe makes up for it. That's a really poor one. Peaks of Fire has dropped off there. They pull up with an injury. We're going to send it. It looks like Zathintus and Midnight Gold as well kind of coming with us. We'll kind of see what happens then. Final 1.5. Down to the final furlong. We're in the lead. We jump okay. Midnight Gold didn't seem to enjoy that jump. Back a tiny, tiny bit. Oh my god, we jumped that so soon. That was crazy. Zacynthus just falling off there a little bit towards the end. I thought they were coming up to take second. They looked like they had a good run at it. And I don't know, they just kind of fell a bit short, I guess. Didn't quite have what it takes to take second place. But it's a solid win. It's a solid race. But there's no real quality to it. And I don't think it's an amazing field. I don't think it's a poor field. I will say that. And I think we've done decently well there for our first real chase. As a 60-year-old, I think we got the distance right, coming down from 3 to 2.6 again. So I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Solid win. I could see them maybe doing something as a 7 or 8-year-old. Maybe. So, you know, there's that to kind of look at. Okay. So we're into June. Can't really tell. 7th of June. Okay. So we got a week. And that week's going to be just a touch too much in terms of the breeding. But so far, not bad. Walla, not great. Fahana and now Josie, not great races, but doing okay. Foxtrot Romeo, I do like, and I feel maybe, just maybe, there is something there. But again, this is why we race Roscommon. Yeah, this is kind of a tough one. This is going to be a little tough. I don't think that we're quite at this level. I do want to test 3 miles. Because it felt like we were good at 2.6. And yes, we went up in quality and graded races and didn't do great. Didn't do poorly, but didn't do great. I just feel maybe 3 is going to suit Foxtrot better. So I kind of want to see this one and figure out, am I right, am I wrong? 3 mile, 110-yard Connacht, National Handicap Chase Class 2, up to 140. And we are off and underway. We're going to switch the camera and zoom in a little bit. There we are, near the back on the inside. First jump navigated at the front. One of those days with Phoenix Fancies. Simiana on this near side, the grey, and then against the rail will be Casta Rosa. And we got to adjust the camera somewhat. We were in the trees. Not amazing. Shrewd Investor has been unseated. And we're well towards the back right now. Not a ton of room to run. But again, it's still well over 1.5 miles left to run. So We can be patient. Got to get out from those trees, which means we've got to come in quite a lot, which is probably going to send me to running this way, camera on the race course, and having to come out even wider, which I absolutely hate. Looking at the rails in between us and the horses, the way the trees are set up, that kind of is a slight inevitability. We're not jumping too badly. Danderek's on the outside there, coming in strong. Looks like a bunch of horses are making their way around now. That's a good jump by us at 13. Not too bad. We can come in close now. Bad jump for us, but Castarossa in a good spot. St. Air down to the final furlong. Danderek taking this. St. Air from Phoenix Fantasy. Castarossa in fourth. Foxtrot Romeo coming up here. Still gaining. Not sure about distance. I think we might learn something, but that's a decent enough run. It's not spectacular, but it's decent. So we do get 4. Stayed on well. We were just beginning to pick up at the end. Okay. Well, I didn't expect to see that. I gotta be honest with you. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I kind of thought 3 would be a bit optimistic. I'm guessing we need to go to at least 3-2, which I'm not sure I love. I'm not sure I love that one. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Known Josie 2-6. Like just full send somewhere? Little grade 2, why not? 2-2 seemed to suit. And so I know, I just feel like full sending on some of these, because it's make or break. So maybe they impress me, maybe they don't. But overall, I need them to show me that they can. So even if we're asking a little too much of them, I feel that's better than not doing that and just running safe races where I'm not learning anything. That seems to be just killing time and running races that I probably don't need to race and I don't need to run because those horses aren't going to do anything. And now we go and test again. 2 mile 5, I think, suits us. 110 yards shouldn't make too much difference. The pre, the drag chase. Class 1, grade 2. We're in France, it's where I don't want to be. But if a horse can win in France, it's gonna be Tartan Jura. And if we're gonna test, then why not test at Otil? Solid first jump, Mamou at the front. Into Fighter Boy, come on Eileen, the grey against the rail, then back to us on our outside Cathedral Spires and the Black Silks Protractor, there with the red cap on the inside and Gebler at the back. Oh my god. Did did we... Are we really jumping security fencing? Is like... Not like natural fences, not like hurdles, not boards, like metal railings on their own. Is that what we're jumping? I've never seen anything like that in my life. That's nuts. That's nuts. Like the stuff you're in the middle of the field, that's what we're jumping at different parts. They just line up a bunch of those security railings. And we're just jumping over. Like, there they are. Those are the ones we jumped over earlier. What the hell is going on? Yeah. Okay, so we jumped the inside track and then we jumped the outside track, maybe? Fighter Boy and all this has gone down. We're kind of towards the back, but starting to come in. That was a good jump, decent run. Down to the final furlong. We need Tatanjura to really kick on if they're going to go for this. Come on Eileen is taking this from Cathedral Spurs. Mamul dropping off in third. Tatanjura away in back in fourth. And yeah, not a bad run, just not a very good one from us there. Six back, everything looked okay. We ran in snatches. Yeah. Just like no more France. I think completely just no more. No more France. They're just way better than us. It's not even interesting. 2-4, 2, 2-4, 2, 2-4. Cool. Cool. Don't care. I think that's gonna be the 15th or the 16th, so probably after the next run. Waffle Pedra. A horse, again, I got a lot of questions about. One of those was, why did you skip my race? 7th one fell at the 9th. Okay, so we weren't even close. Yeah. It's not the best. Like, we're just running novices with him and just... I don't know, it just feels like we're not developing and we're not going to be moving in the right direction. So I just feel we're killing time. And I hate it. Parsons' Duty. Okay. Like, we're fully sending in a bunch of big races. This is kind of the primer and the real test to see if we think she can. We're going to be near the front at the start. Let me get through the trees a little bit. You can see Pegasus Prince up at the front near my love. Lucky Legs. Clash William Girl as well on the outside. And then the rest of the field. There comes up Patana. Pegasus Prince leads us out. Near my love just on our outside. That's a poor jump from us. Oh, that's a poor jump from us. And that gives us more work to do. We need at least one or two good jumps to make up for that one. That is one. Pegasus Prince has fallen. We've got to go this camera, which I don't like. Running with the rails in between us, but it's where we've got to go. But Pegasus Prince falling, and there we go. We get up again. But we are dropping back half a mile. Look how quickly we're dropping back. We jump well, we get a little surge, then we jump back. Parsons' Duty is done. 100% done. This race is over. Name of Love takes it from Zdorovi and Common Request. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't an amazing race or a tough race or a superb field. Um, yeah, kind of similar to this novice chase that we ran. I don't really feel like it was any stronger, if I'm being honest. But it was just so bad. I'm trying to find words to say, but like it was so bad, like so bad. We got half quant and we got non Josie. Again, that's going to be interesting for me. That's going to be interesting to me. A little flat race, 1x2, 2-4, not much money. I'm thinking this is 75% stamina, which is why I'm looking at it. And if it's not yet, I think it might be. So yeah, it's 20 stamina. I think this goes all the way up to 70, 80 stamina. But it just doesn't have any quality elsewhere. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Dome Royal for half quant. Big old test here. And again, I don't think an amazing race is a little class 240 handicap. It's over in Ireland. We're on the right distance. But yeah, this is pretty close to what we just did. So the Tort handicap hurdle, 140 rated and under, over 2 mile, 110 yards. Half quant. Okay, I'm going to have to run on this side with the field. The fences in the near ground. Let's try it from this side. Let's see if we can get out of the cameras, out of the bushes. We are just there. We're just off camera. There you go. That's the whole field in one shot, led out by Euro American and Pavilion Blue and Ice Nelly out to Munshi. Back to Happy Talk and Peneshko Lad. Hippodrome Supreme coming in the mix there. 2 Native County, Fisher Present, Subtle Shimmer, JK, then us, Antigan Lee, both suffering quite badly. And again, I feel like this is just absolutely terrible for us. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, Munshi's going to pull up with an injury. That's the only reason why we passed them. Yeah. You go to the barn. You go to the barn. I don't care. I don't want to deal with stuff. Tanjura's tired. Really? He had the entire month of May off. He ran a week ago and now he's looking tired. I wonder what kind of sickness he's got, but yeah, I think just at this stage, like I say, throwing him in the barn is my best shot because they're not gonna do anything. They're not gonna do anything this year. Racing them isn't gonna develop them. They might get better when they age up. That's about it. We can take a look at everybody as they age up in January and see if anyone's got any better then, but I don't feel they will have. And at the start of next season, again, we can. That'll be the end of April, beginning of May. So we can kind of take a look at things then, but I think just loading up the breeding barn just makes sense. Now, Josie has got a little grade 2. Depending how she does, she might run the Ascot Chase. She might go into the breeding barn. And for Hannah will run this little grade 3. Depending how she does, I'm going to say it now, she'd go into the breeding barn. Foxtrot's got a listed handicap. If he can't do anything there, then I'm probably going to get rid of him because I don't see too many reasons to keep him about. Piazza Bar, I'm just going to get rid of now. Waffle Pedre, I'm going to allow him to run. And we'll find some more difficult races. In fact, yeah, we'll find some more difficult races next year. I was going to say let me look for one now, but no, that wouldn't be fair. I wouldn't be fair as a 4-year-old. But we'll keep racing him. He might be worth persevering with. These 3 get their shot to prove themselves a little more. We've got to find the distance first for Foxtrot Romeo. Tatanjura and Wala, we're just testing against the best horses and seeing what they do, and then they'll go into the breeding barn. So I feel at least I know what I'm doing and what the plan is. So yeah, very small field this for now, Josie. The McGregor Grant Steeple Chase here at Trentham. I don't think that's a bad idea. Can we win? Yes. Will we win? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like this is a good horse. Sometimes I feel like it maybe not. But 2 mile 6 furlong McGregor Grant Steeplechase. Class 1 grade 2 for 6-year-olds and above. Oh my God, where's this taking us? This is taking us into the middle of the course. Normally it tracks where you're racing, and this is just sending us right through the middle in a figure of 8. That's not what this course is. Let's see if we run that course or not here at Trentham. I don't think we will. I think that's just a weird flyover graphic for some reason. Nope. Okay, we are just running fenceless in the middle of the track. Okay, there's no barriers whatsoever. We're just running all over the place. Sure, Stefanski Defrit Dan at the beginning. Mick Dam, name is familiar, in third. Now Josie is here. Yeah, I don't know how to describe this, but yeah, there's no barriers to kind of guide or to keep the horses in, and it's a little strange. They could easily go off course. There's cars parked there where a horse could run into them. I've never seen anything like this. We are up in the second place, 6 furlongs from home. That's jump 15, 16, 17. We're in solid place. Switch the camera again. Here comes Mick Dam. I'm sure we've seen them run and do quite well, so they are a good horse. 3 furlongs from home. It's them just ahead of us by a length, then 3 or 4 back to Desperate Dan both those distances lengthening. We jump poorly. Stefanski pulls up. And now Josie is going to finish a ways behind Mick Dam. But that's a fairly solid race. I'm going to say that much. A fairly solid race. Where have I seen you? I don't know where I've seen you. The Oaksy Chase. At 2-6, you destroyed Foxtrot Romeo. Okay. That's what I've seen Mick Dam. Maybe not a great horse, but a decent horse. I'm going to follow it just in case. But I do think for now, Josie has not really done much. And then has been able to, since we come back to 2-6, we take this little novice chase feature, not a big one, but a decent one. Then comes second to a horse who I know has destroyed some other horse of mine. Maybe we keep them Josie out. Maybe we do. Huh. That's interesting. This is why I test, because I want to see, what have you got? What maybe can you do? Maybe a little beginner's chase. See how we get on with that one. Because why not? Okay, so that's the breeding done. So now, there we go. And that will leave us with, 7 more? So we're basically on the halfway point. We've done 7, 8's underway, 7 left to go. Yeah. I feel fairly good about that. I just want to check what's in the field, because I was just thinking I'll put Waffle Pedra out in the field. And then it's like, well, is there any point? Yeah, we'll do his last run and then probably put him out in the field. Because again, I don't think it's benefiting him at all. So there is that. There is that for an idea. Okay, local singers, okay. Ah. Maybe. I don't feel. It feels like such a crapshoot when it comes to these 3 and 4-year-olds that come up at auction. If the breeding indicator doesn't really reflect that much, unless you just got like a monster on one side or both sides, then the horse could almost be anything. Kind of just guessing and trying, so yeah. Not much there. Yeah. Don't know what I was expecting really, but single grade 2, no falls approved themselves. don't really love anything there either. So Hastings, Fahana, little grade 3, two Lanethorn Foxes in there. So at least we know that there's a horse that has been good. Okay. We're not the favourite, neither are they, but 2 mile, 2 furlong, Marshall Batteries Hurdle, Class 1, Grade 3 for 5-year-olds and older. I respect Lanethorn Fox. They are the only horse less favoured by the bookies is us. But I do not believe that. I just do not. We'll come out a little bit here then. They will take the lead from 7 days back to Ghost Writing in December with You're Gonna Be Lucky just joining them. Now, us on the inside, Luna Limelight, I think the favourite right at the back to begin things. Under 1.5 miles from home, coming up on the halfway point in the jumps. There it is. That was 7 of 14 and 8 of 14 on that back stretch. On this right-hand turn, still got a few more jumps to go. We are quite some way back. Expected a fast race. No, we're going inside the rails. If I zoom out kind of crazily, we'll be on camera. So there goes December. There goes 7 days. You're going to be lucky. And there's Fahana. So yeah, okay. Yeah. Like, I think this is a good horse, which I would then expect these to be solid horses. Maybe not good horses, but solid horses as well. I'll keep an eye on those. And then the fact that we finished so far back. I know it's early, but you'd expect more to that. If this was a good horse, you would expect, if it was 8 years of age, it was a bit better. Then you expect a good horse to be finishing up near the front in a grade 3. So, a little younger. I would still expect this to be like between 5 and 10 furlongs back, somewhere in between these. The fact that we're 30 back and we were not eased, and the only horse within 15 lengths of us, or within 24 lengths of us, was one that was eased, that's only a year older. Like, all these things add up to, yeah, for Hannah, that definitely was too early. It definitely was too much. It was too strong a field. But it still proves that Fahana isn't a good horse, and by the time she's 7 or 8, probably won't be either. That's what I'm reading from it. We can't even run a Class 2. The moment we've moved away from Class 4s in any way, shape, or form, we've struggled. And even running Class 4s, she struggled as a 5-year-old. And that can happen. Maybe she comes good in the future. But I don't believe so. And I think moving out to the breeding barn is definitely the best thing for her. Okay. Foxtrot Romeo. My kind of pet project, and we got to keep going until we at least hit the right distance. But 3 mile, 2 furlong, John Smith Summer Cup, Class 1 listed handicap for 5-year-olds and above. I will chase Rafe on the turf. Big field. We're against the rail near the front. Little chasing pack, we jump okay. Looks like Carhall going out first with Hawk Mountain. Hidden Passion, Fog Patches, then us just inside of Mandama. Bunch of the other horses there more than ready against the rail at the rear, a few lengths back. It's going to get a good run on the bend, though. That might put it in contention. We are the leading horse of the pack. Hawk Mountain stalking down Car Hall. Just allowing them to run this race, the two of them out in front. And we are all just here watching and waiting. Nabucco, Mandama, Low Reactor all up there with us. That is a terrible jump from us. That sets us quite far back now. We've lost probably 4 or so lengths just on jump number 8. And that gives us that much more work to do. Hawk Mountain and Car Hall side by side there. But Hawk does not jump very well at 11 or 12. Across the start finish. 10.5 furlongs to go. 8 more jumps. Coming around for 13. Not great from us. And every time you'd expect us to maybe make some progress, we look like we're making progress. The poor jumping is kind of kicking our butt. And there again at 15. Not amazing. Reset the camera for the leaders because here come the cavalry. Fog Patches, Nabucco, both going for it. Foxtrot Romeo from deep. Full send now, full bore, going for this. What a poor jump, breaks the momentum. Mandama's here, more than ready, has fallen. That's the penultimate jump, number 19 of 20, coming into the final furlong. One more jump, Mandama the Grey, just stalking us down. Low Reactor falling away. Mandama jumps this well, gonna push through. Gonna push clear. Foxtrot Romeo, very, very close. Doesn't quite get up on this one. Mandama takes it. Foxtrot Romeo from Low Reactor in third. That's why this is my pet project. This is why I've been bullish on this horse. Because I feel like there's something here that my other 5-year-olds and maybe 6-year-olds don't quite have. The 4 and 5-year-olds are definitely, this was my favorite of the bunch. And I know there's been little comments in the comment section when I've asked for your opinions. Fahana been mentioned a couple of times. Other people who play this game that I've talked to and who've seen the video and I've kind of shown them little bits of, they think Fahana's got something. Nobody really has thought Foxtrot's got something. And I don't know why, but I've just had the feeling, I've just seen bits. And this is it. This is why. This is why. Not quite as difficult a race as we just saw, but pretty damn close. A listed handicap against older horses, stronger horses, far higher rated, much bigger difference in rating than previously as well. A Class 1 race. But we weren't dead last 30 lengths back. We were right up the front, 2.5 back off the leader. That's the difference. We're testing, we're putting in unsuitable situations. Foxtrot Romeo is one that is showing something. And I think we're good at 3 miles too. I think we're good at 3-2. Yeah, no disrespect to like Fahana, Parsons Duty, Half Quant. I think they're solid horses. I don't think objectively they look any better than Foxtrot or Foxtrot looks any better than them. But I keep seeing something. I keep seeing something. And that's why Foxtrot Romeo is surviving the culls. 100% surviving the culls all the time. So little 3-2 isn't there. There's a 3-1. Again, that's such a huge test. But I think we booked that in. And then that's where we're going to leave it for this video. But let me know what you think of Foxtrot Romeo. We've kept them out. We've kept Waffle Pedre out for this run and then probably into the field because it doesn't feel like there's any benefit to running them. Now, Josie, again, is showing something. Tanjura is close and competing at the highest level, while is competing at the highest level and is falling off a bit. And we might have to handpick more of those races. But, yeah, we're down to 5. We're up to 16 again in the breeding barn. But like I say, I think the rest of this season, maybe one more, we'll breed, we'll put people on the transfer list, we'll get it all set up, and then I'll go ahead and create the other game, probably well ahead of time, and just make sure everything's stable, and import people over, and then we can go from there. So that's kind of how I see it all coming together. But have your say in the comment section down below. Please do like and subscribe. And, yeah, let me know what you think. I think it's quite interesting, but with a better schedule, with graded races in it, I think the game's going to produce better quality horses to race in those graded races. And because it's going to produce higher quality horses, we're going to get better quality horses. We're also going to be able to compete and test ourselves against better horses. We're going to breed with better horses. And that's just going to sort of accelerate things dramatically. That's going to put us in a place where we're able to really breed our way to success. And we are really going to be able to kind of have some fun, big races along the way. So, yeah, that's the current plan. And I think as long as everything goes okay, that's what I'm going to stick to. So, until next time, please do check out the other playlists, the memberships that are available. Appreciate the support as always. I'll see you guys next time. Till then, take care, stay safe, and all the best to you as always.